can see, as each flake passes, I'm slowly connecting to that midline. I want to show you how, with all those consecutive flakes, how that you can connect them to a midline, creating your medial ridge, which is the backbone of that projectile point. So pressure flaking can be a very tricky kind of skill in the world of flint napping. But there are some best practices that I think are important for most nappers, whether you're brand new, doing it for 5 years, you've been doing it for 15 years, doesn't really matter. One of the biggest ones is a crush platform. Another issue a lot of nappers face are step and hinge fractures when they're pressure flaking. Flakes can be short sometimes, too short. Sometimes you get an edge that snaps or it breaks or a huge chunk is taken out. But a lot of this can be attributed to general fatigue, improper form, and more importantly, not understanding how that stone is really reacting under that pinpoint pressure when you're actually throwing flakes across the face. I've created this little preform right here. Still has some mass to it. This is actually a piece of white novaculite that I dyed with some wood stain. So you could see the pressure flakes as I demonstrate them for you going across this face. Because I get it. It's definitely hard to see when flakes are shooting across a face what is actually happening. I want you to think of pressure flaking like loading an edge. You have your flaker, you have your stone, your target stone, you have the edge. What's happening is I'm putting my flaker on that edge. What I need to do is I need to load it with energy. I need to load it with force. With my white tail flaker, loading is very, very important. This is where you can avoid crushing a platform. When I'm flaking, and I have lots of different methods, I usually put my hands down in between my legs. I use my flaker to peel back my hand pads, and then I'm putting my flaker right on that edge. I'm looking for that clean contact point where I know it's kind of sticking there. All I'm doing is I'm pushing in to the stone. You can kind of see my body tensing just a little bit. When I'm pushing into that stone, I'm trying to make sure that my platform will not fail. You can start to feel it. You'll hear it kind of crack and grind and just give a little bit. That's what we want to avoid. I want to be able to load it, push in, and what I do is I also push up. There's a kind of balance of doing this together. I push in, and then I throw my flake. So a good little flake, that's kind of your standard, right before kind of the midsection right there. All right, let's throw another flake right here on this side so you can compare and contrast. I'm gonna braid my edge. Let's incorporate the split pad. This makes a huge difference. More of my dull tip. Pushing in, flake scar. I load, flake scar. Flake, good flake. I want to space it out. You can actually space it out with a little bit more distance. You don't need to ride the edge. This right here is riding the edge. I'm gonna jump over to about right here and throw a flake. To there. As each flake passes, I'm slowly connecting to that midline, creating your medial ridge, which is the backbone of that projectile point. Right across. Got a little bit of the coloring there. I'll clear that out in my tip refinement. It's a good load. Go to my soft pad. I'm just gonna kind of address this whole little edge here. As I address it, raising this edge because I want to continue my pattern this way. A little abrasion down, braid my platform, shoot my flake. All right, braid my platform, switch up my flaker. I'm loading, flake all the way across. As I look at this, balance changes just based on my initial reduction. So I'm going to raise the edge and I'm going to come the opposite way. That's the platform. Let's go 2 hand pads. Right there. Good. See that one shot across. I still have to address this side because that's where my mass meets. Now we're going to come one more. Not death gripping with my hands. I'm loading, pushing across. As this blade widens out, it'll make sure my load's good, my platform's good, so I can shoot a little bit longer flakes. Good. 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 Load, push and go. Coming across. Good. Right across. One more. So it looks like I got a little divot there. So I'm going to come back to this side. Just addressing the edge. There's a game of raising and lowering. Necessary amount of abrasion. Got him. Good. All right. Not bad. Side's coming along. Just got to connect on this side. Back to the tip. They're light flakes. Now I'm going to come to the tip. There's the first one. Second one. Third one. There's that one. Still a little bit there, but I am not worried about that. Good there. Drop to here. I got a little bit of a divot. It might be hard to clear it out. 2 pads. 1, 2, 3. Up and around. Now we're going for this. Raise my edge. Pressure's on my edge. I'm straight up and down. I'm loading. Just about there. So even as we look at this, I'm not going to mind if there's a little bit of coloring right here. That medial ridge, that high point. You know, you look straight down this pipe, this isn't a bad thing. This is the spine of these cutting edges. This is the spine of that tool. Medial ridge is a good thing. So I've got most of this backside. I want to flip it over and start clearing off this stain on the backside. I can see that there's a low spot. So in my mind, I might just keep it. That's okay when you're napping. You don't have to play the aesthetics game the entire time. Think about the functional tool, and yes, you can see what material or what kind of stain I have left over, but if you had to haft it and stick it into the side of an animal, I don't think the animal's going to really care what it looks like. Across my base, I might be able to clear it out. Let's just raise all this edge up. Load and go. Load, go. So this is the point that I like to call chasing aesthetics. It's a bad mindset to have. I'm gonna be 100% honest, right? The base. I wish you could see down the front of this and you can see what I'm talking about as far as that medial ridge. And when we look here, got a little bit of that brown. This is just a naturally low spot. It's gonna be hard to throw flakes all the way up and through here. I can get a couple. Again, I'm chasing aesthetics at that point. Just because that brown's there doesn't mean this is a non-functioning tool. I'm not going for aesthetics. Tools, not trophies. Pretty functional Atlatl dart point. We want to connect this. A couple notches. We'll throw a couple notches straight in. There we go. All right, so even as we're looking at this now, We remember what it looked like from the very beginning. It was all dark. I mean, not every piece of stone is going to be 100% flawless. Through my own errors, but not really errors in my reduction, I had some low spots. I had some high spots. When you look down the pipe on this guy, you can see that medial ridge. And I still didn't remove all of my dark coloring. It's not because I don't want to have it be clean and flawless, but there's no need to. You're chasing aesthetics. Aesthetics are okay. Functionality of the tool is more important. That's where my mind goes, not trying to remove every little piece of something on there. It was kind of fun. Turned out nice. I know it's pressure flaking. It's not the biggest, it's not the funnest, it's not the most sexy, but it does give people a different perspective on not every single flake will be perfect across. Sometimes you have to jump left, right, pair platforms, take some things away. You have to address the stone as an individual piece, not as a collective bunch. All right, that's all I got. Appreciate you watching.